One of the amazing things about being on the Gulf Coast in the fall, the panhandle of Florida in the fall, is the amazing number of butterflies that you see down here. Just absolutely endless numbers of butterflies. A lot of them are Gulf Fritillaries and some Monarchs mixed in there. And they're just all over the place. They just cover the flowers. They fly all around. Yesterday I was coming across the bridge and I saw 100 in the 6 miles of crossing the bridge in groups of 3 and 4s. It's pretty amazing. And why are they all here? Well, they actually migrate, and so they are coming south for the winter, just like the hummingbirds and other birds do. And they overwinter. Actually, these guys, the Fritillaries, they overwinter in the peninsula of Florida, where there's no frost. They get far enough south where there's no frost, and that's where they hang out. Pretty amazing to think of, butterflies, these little tiny butterflies doing migrations like that. But even more amazing are the monarchs. And I don't see any actually on here, but monarchs, they don't stop at the peninsula of Florida. They keep going. They head all the way down to Mexico, and they overwinter there before coming back. And not all of them come back. A lot of them actually only make it as far north as this area, the lower part of the southeast, where they lay their eggs and they pass on, and the next generation goes farther north. But still, just an amazing thing to see is all these butterflies here. Anywhere where there's some flowers, there's just hordes of butterflies all over them. Because we are right here at the stopping point, the last bit of land going south that's in America. Once you get on the other side of this island and keep going south, the next land is on the other side of the Gulf of Mexico in the country of Mexico. So this is their last stopover, which is really, really a cool thing to think of, these insects making these migrations, like I said. And when you're on the island here, every time you see flowers, it's just they're alive with movement. I've never seen anything quite like it anywhere else I've ever been. But what another little cool thing in nature that honestly passes us by sometimes. It's easy to not think about stuff like that, but nature is just an amazing thing. It really is. And one of the benefits, I'm sure, of living here on St. George Island and some of the other barrier islands as well, is to have these annual migrations come through and just see butterflies on top of butterflies. And if you have flowers in front of your house, it's just an endless show every day of butterflies hanging out in your yard. Certainly don't get to see that in a lot of other parts of the country, even though I've certainly seen a fritillary here or there on flowers in our yard up in Alabama, but never anything like this. But yeah, you think about animals and you think of moving, you don't often think about butterflies flying hundreds, if not thousands, of miles to make it to winter refugia and then coming back. Research has shown some of the butterflies that show up on the Gulf Coast of Florida have come from as far away as North Dakota. If you want to just imagine a 3-inch long butterfly flying from North Dakota to the panhandle of Florida for the winter, and this is only actually part of the way because they are going to make it down to the peninsula. It gets plenty cold here in the winter, colder than they want to be. It's somewhat humbling to think of how nature has just chosen all these different ways, all these different methods of preservation of species, and we just often just don't think about it. But it's pretty fun to come find a patch of flowers on St. George Island and just see how many butterflies are here.